Aged Care Quality Standards, Examples of Spiritual Care in Action. The Aged Care Quality Standards now expect all organisations to engage with what is meaningful for each person. There are many different ways we can demonstrate spiritual care in action. Here are just two examples. George, who has moved into residential aged care, and Nancy, who is accessing care in the community. Before George moved in, Karen from Acacia Care came to talk to him and his daughter. George was really worried. He never thought he would end up in aged care. He thought it was just for old people. Karen asked George about his important connections with others, creativity, nature, and something bigger, which may include religion. George was surprised to hear this is called spirituality. He had a bit to say about how much he loved watching seeds grow into plants. He showed Karen his veggie garden and how it's gone a bit wild now since he can't weed it. He ended up telling Karen about his brother Nick, who he misses terribly. Nick died 5 years ago. George still goes to him for advice, and he talked about how he loved to cook and that he used to go to the Greek club to meet up with his mates, but can't now. The first day George moved into the new place, he felt awful. But then he was introduced to his key workers, and they set him up with a buddy in the new home. Then the staff showed George the little raised garden bed, already with his name on it. The next week, he had the chance to help with some cooking. They introduced George to a well-being volunteer who loved Greek food and hearing George's stories. That night, George talked to Nick about how hard it was to need aged care, but that it was working out better than he expected. Now let's meet Nancy. Nancy was really worried about needing help. She hated the idea of dependence. The last thing she wanted was some strangers coming into her house. When Penny visited, she took her time to hear a bit of Nancy's life story. Nancy talked a lot about how involved she was in the local primary school until recently. She used to be a teacher and kept volunteering there with the young ones to help with their reading after she retired. She also used to write letters to the editor about things she cared about in her community. And she was part of a faith community. Now she is stuck indoors. Her body hardly does what it used to. She's quite overwhelmed by the housework and garden, and she's lonely. Her friends nearby have all died, and family are only in touch occasionally. Now, Nancy finds herself chatting away to the home help while they do a spot of cleaning together. She is so pleased that they seem really interested in her life. Someone from the spiritual care team visits to pray with her and has organised someone to collect her to go to church. The spiritual carer helps her write letters about issues she is concerned about. They also started to look at how to reconnect her with her family. These short examples give us a window into how spiritual care contributes to the quality standards in a number of key areas. If you need some assistance in unpacking some of the ways that quality standards connect with spiritual care, you can read the Australian Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission's Guidance and Resources for Providers to support the new aged care quality standards.
Meaningful Aging Australia has a wide range of practical resources to help organisations with high-quality spiritual care that aligns with the aged care quality standards.